There is Banga soup and there is Delta style of cooking Banga soup. Hi guys, you're welcome again. If this is your first time of joining my channel, you're welcome. And to my returning viewers, I love you amazingly. Today, I will be showing us how to make Banga soup like the Delta people with all the local spices that they use. So first of all, let us go over the spices. This stick is called Banga wood, although it has another English name, but I'll put it on the description below. And then this one is orima seed. Yes, it is grinded orima seed. Then the white one is called tikna with some other local spices that they add to it. And this dry one here, this leaf here, I'll also put the name of the leaf on the description button. So in case you cannot remember this name, when you get to the market, just tell those women that you want to buy Banga spices and they will give you. And then we have our other protein, we have our cow skin, we have our assorted beef, we have pepper, we have Banga, which is the key ingredient for the soup. We also have dry fish and stockfish, and also we have catfish. This is very important. There's this taste that catfish gives to Banga soup that I cannot cook my Banga soup without catfish. So after that, you go and wash your Banga palm kernel seed, yes, palm kernel fruit, wash it very well to ensure that there is no dirt. You can work with as much quantity as you like. This is going to be a bit much, that is why it's like this palm kernel seed consists of both agric and the native one. Yes, they say that the native one have more fruit, while the other one, the agric, is sweeter. So this is the combination of it. After that, you put it on the fire and allow it to cook. I think I boiled this for about 40 minutes to ensure that it is soft. While you are cooking it, you have to prepare your catfish. For the purpose of this video, that's why I did not kill this fish. Normally, when you buy fish from the market, they will definitely cut it for you, so you don't have to go through this process. But since I did not kill it, I had to show you how to do it. It's not hard. These catfish, they are not really strong. You don't have to be scared. It is only slimy, but it will not harm you. So just hit it like that and cut it to the quantity that you want to cut. And I'm also going to show you how to wash it to remove all this sliminess very well. Now when you are working on the head, you have to make sure that you are washing it. I wash my own over running water in case of there's any dirt or anything inside of it, maybe all the food that the catfish will eat inside the pond or whatever, everything will come out. I take my time. I don't rush this head part. Take my time to wash it and remove every other unnecessary part that is not there. Now one thing that makes people scared about catfish is how to wash off this slimy nature, but I'm going to show us in this video how I achieve that with just salt. It's with just salt. Before, I used to use alum to wash it and warm water, and then it used to take time. But you see this salt method, just use salt to wash it. Put it inside salt. Use salt to scrub it and scrub it. You can even add water to it. Once the fish has stayed long, maybe for like few minutes inside the salt water, you will see that those slimy nature will go off. I think I repeated this process for about 3 times. After I washed it, I rinsed it off again. At this point, the fish was not even dead. You can see that the fish was moving. It was really funny to me, like I already cut off your head and you are still moving. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm using the salt to wash off all the slimy nature. This is the first time I'm using salt. I saw it somewhere online and I said I should try it, and it really came out nice. Now another thing I noticed while I was doing this was, if I had left it inside the salt water, maybe add water to this thing, it's still going to come out well. So for this particular one, I repeated this process 3 times. I used salt to wash it, and then I pour water on it. I washed it again with another salt, and I pour water on it. I think I still use warm water for this, but if you're just using salt water, you can skip that warm water process and it will definitely clean off. You're going to have a very clean fish without any form of sliminess. Like, it is not hard. You wash it off, go over it again and wash it off. Like I said before, I will use alum, potash, yes. I'll be scrubbing it, but when I discovered this salt method, I just discovered that, oh my god, this is the best. Like, this is the easiest of all. You can practically see it living as you are washing it, you are seeing it leaving. As you are washing it, you are seeing it leaving, that there's nothing there. So this hot water on is okay. And if you are using hot water, make sure that the water is warm. It's not very hot, because if the water is very hot, you can't wash it again. You are just going to end up peeling the skin of the fish, and you might mess it up. So when you're using warm water, let the water be warm, or you just use normal water and salt. At this point now, you can see that the slimy nature is already reducing by far. So this was what I did. I repeated the process, and at this point my fish is clean, like very clean. It's no longer slimy. Even if you maybe after now you still see that it's sliming again, just repeat the same process. You might not need to add too much salt. Just let there be salt in the water. That salt inside the water is going to remove the slimy nature of the fish, and you are good to go. So at this point now, I checked my banga was still boiling, so I went ahead to prep for the stockfish. I had to parboil the stockfish and the other protein that I'm using. Feel free to use any protein, but the protein I recommend mostly, that is very necessary in banga, is catfish. Any protein you are using at all, please let catfish be there, because there's this kind of taste that catfish gives to banga soup that I have not seen it in any other protein. Even if it's chicken or turkey, it will not give you that exact catfish. So while the banga is still boiling, I proceeded to parboiling my stock, my meat stock, my cow skin, my assorted and stockfish. Now if you are using any meat, you can also boil it. You can use your cow, you can use beef, you can use goats. Any protein of your choice is advisable, but whatever protein you are using, ensure that there is catfish in it, because of the kind of unique taste catfish gives to banga soup. So now we can see, yes, that the banga is ready. The inside is cooked now. You remember I told you that we are cooking this banga soup in a local way. Yes, so I'll be using my mortar to extract the banga juice. We don't have all those butcher mix or those sophisticated blender, and I don't want to risk my food processor. No, I don't have up to 2, so we have to use our mortar to extract the banga juice from it. And there's no other way to do this than to do it this local and our mother style. Yes, I said it, because this is how I saw my mother, my auntie, and all the elders I've stayed with. This was how I saw them making banga. Yes, if I have the food processor, will I want to use it? Absolutely. Yes, I am not those kind of women that believe that when you cook with firewood rice it's sweeter, or when you use grinding stone to grind pepper it is sweeter. No, I just use what I have, and as time goes on, once I upgrade, I am still going to stop using all these things. I mean, who no like better thing? Everybody wants to have soft life now. So this was me. I was just trying to pound the banga, and it's better to do this while the banga is still very hot. Yes, you will get a better result while the banga is still very hot. I would have done this twice, but for some reason I just packed everything. But if you have a bigger mortar, you can do it at once, or if you don't want to go through this stress of my own falling out of the mortar, you can do it twice. But I didn't want to do it twice. I just want to pound everything at once. Now when you're pounding it, you'll be seeing it if it is working. At this point you can see that yes, we are almost done, because the banga is coming out, and most of the palm kernel, you're already seeing it, that the juice that's falling out of them. You're seeing the skeleton. I don't know how to explain it. The skeleton of the palm kernel seed. Yes, so the next thing you do is you pack it out to a bigger bowl where you can have opportunity to use your hand to scrub it well, so that you can extract that juice. Yes, because it's the palm fruit juice that is the banga, and that is what we are looking for. I was using my hand and I realized that it's still hot, so I just went to use this small filter that I have inside. So I'm still packing it inside a bigger bowl so that I can put water and scrub it well. Now the scrubbing part again is another lesson on its own. If you don't scrub it well, you are going to cheat yourself. You are going to end up throwing away the banga juice that you are supposed to use for the soup. So you can see what I'm doing now. I'm using my hand to scrub it. I think I scrubbed this for about 5 minutes on this particular one before removing it. Now see, this is the first water. This water is very thick now. So see how thick it is. I am still scrubbing it. After scrubbing it, then you are going to remove the shaft first. Make sure that you press it well so that all the juice can leave. Now the essence of this banga is this juice. So whatever you are going to do to get the juice, please ensure you do it and you do them right. So I just squeeze it out and put it in the mortar because I'm still going to wash it again. I think I did this process like 3 times until the last water was not, it was becoming too light. And again, if you use too light water, it's also a problem on its own because you are going to need to cook that banga for long. So this was the first one I did. I remove it and then I pour another water. This time around I use warm water so that, because this palm fruit is oil, so when you put warm water on it, the oil can remove easily. I did not work with the shaft first. So let me work with the seed. You can see the way the palm kernel is clean. You can see how clean it is. That's to show you that I really pounded this thing well and all the juice on it has come out. So this was the second batch I did. I also repeat the same process for the third time. At this moment, you can also see that this water is not as thick as the first one, but it's still thick, although not as thick as the first one, and it is becoming light. So what I just did is I used smaller water to wash. Yes, the last batch I still use warm water to wash that shaft, and this was the last one because if I add more water, it will be too watery and it will take a lot of time to do. But one thing with it is that anyone you are doing, please do not rush it. Make sure you use your hand to squeeze it very well. Squeeze it very well to ensure that there is no other juice left, because the essence of banga is to get this banga extract or banga fruit or banga juice, whatever. So you have to do whatever it is to do to make sure that every of the juice is out. So you can see it now, like the water is becoming lighter, the water is becoming not as thick as the first, not even as thick as the second one. So at this point now, it's safe to say that okay, the banga is ready. But if you want to do banga rice, I think you can still wash more if you need more of the liquid. But for soup, if you have it too much, it might not be nice. So now this is a quantity of the banga liquid or banga juice that we have, and we are going to use this for our banga soup. Yes, I did not filter it again because the first one is okay. Now you see this banga wood, it used to have a lot of sand. Like, do whatever you need to do to wash it very well. Some of them you see the yellow sand on it, and most of the time the sand is like the color of the wood. So if you are not careful, you might even be thinking that, oh, it is the wood. You will not wash it. You say, I want to carry sponge to use. Wash it properly. Take your time to make sure that there is no sand, because if you add this sand in your food, at the end of the day you might end up eating sand, and it's not healthy. Aside the fact that it's not healthy, you know that feeling when you bite sand, you know how painful and how annoying it is. So I took my time and I used a sponge to wash every part of this leaf, this stick, and you can see here it is clean. There is no sand again. It is very clean. Now we are ready to make our banga soup. So the first thing is you pour the liquid before setting it on the fire. You pour the liquid. You see, this our liquid is plenty. It's much for the soup you are making. It's plenty soup. So you add the things that are needed. You add your pepper. You add your banga spices. Now you see these banga spices, this thickener. You can either add water to it first and mix it, before pouring it directly, or you pour it directly. And everything with this banga spice, you put it immediately as you are cooking it. Maybe later when you test it and the taste is not okay, you cannot add. So after putting it, you're going to use your spoon to dissolve the thickener. Yes, you dissolve it there. If you are patient, it's going to dissolve faster, and when it starts boiling again, it will still dissolve. So after that, the first thing I do after dissolving is that I put it on the fire and I allow it to cook for about 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. I allow it to cook very well for about 30 to 40 minutes before proceeding with other things, before adding other things. I allow it to cook. At this point, you can see that the thickener is fully dissolved. So I put it on the fire and I allow it to cook for like 30 to 40 minutes. You see our fish is very clean. So at this point now, the banga has been cooking for 30 to 40 minutes. This is the time to put the other things that are left. Like, well, I'm going to put the fish now. If you notice, I did not parboil this catfish because I know I was going to cook it inside the soup, and after putting the fish, I'm still going to allow the soup to cook for like 30 to 40 minutes. That way, that time is enough to cook the catfish. So there is no need to parboil the catfish before putting it. It is absolutely not necessary. I added my seasoning, I added my salt, I added crayfish and the parboiled protein, our salted and everything. I added them here, and then I put it back on the fire and allow it to cook from 40 to 45 minutes. At that point now, you already know that the banga is ready after cooking it. Now, one thing with cooking banga soup, sometimes you might not get the thickness that day, but if you allow it to stay longer on the heat, it will get thicker. If you boil for 1 hour, the thickness you will get is not the same as when you boil for like 1 hour 30 minutes. So after this, now once you put the fish, just know that your banga is basically ready. So allow it to boil, and when you get the thickness or the consistency that you want, then you can say that your banga soup is ready to be served. Now as you are boiling it, maybe when you test it and you don't have that enough banga native taste, you cannot add extra thickener, or you add extra leaf, or you add extra orima seed if you have. If you don't have, it is fine. So after you have tested everything and it's okay, then you are still going to allow the soup to boil for as long as you want, as long as you are okay with the thickness. Now, why I did not really say, okay, this is the quantity of seasoning I use, this is the quantity of salt, because at the end of the day, we might not be using the same banga quantity. But what you do is that as you are doing it, you are checking it. If it's not enough, you add. It's better not to add too much spices, because when it's too much, you now start adding water. But when you add little, if it's not enough, you can add. At this point now, our soup is ready. You can decide to serve like this, or you still allow to get thickening for a while. If you have watched up to this moment and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do not forget to turn on the notification bell, and if you have any question, leave it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. If you want me to create more of these cooking videos, still let me know and I'll do well to do that. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for everything. See you on my next video. Bye.